What skills do you have which can be linked to the person specification? I read through the person specification list. I realized I have a lot of skills that can be transferred to the desired specifications. As a college student, I'm casually tasked to work in a group to complete assignments. Working in a group, it has taught me to be proactive, always being able to have awareness of the members in my group to make sure they're working at the highest possible standard. I was also able to learn how to lead the group, having the responsibility of delegating work and make sure I distribute the work evenly. As a team leader in my group, I am able to motivate my team, making sure that they get work done, but also realize when they're struggling, developing my support skills. I'm also able to adapt to certain situations when dealing with a group during various projects, as everyone has unique styles of work but also preferences, so I would give them work that would perfectly fit or would complement their strengths, and try to delegate work that they struggle on. Being able to identify a person's strength and weakness improves my communication and interpersonal skills, which is required for the job. However, there are times where during a project where we struggle with advancing to the next task, or we have a task to create a poster or leaflet. Luckily, after completing qualifications on art and media studies, I'm able to look at problems from a different angle, a creative problem solving. So that would mean I'd be able to use my skills I've learned from there to create digital art, or to create posters for promotions, or to inform, and so on. I'm also able to handle problematic, stressful situations because of my previous work experience, working in a stressful environment and coping with the amount of chaos and workload I receive. But luckily, the skills that I've learned from my previous work and also from education has gave me more confidence. But still on the topic of college projects, there are some tasks where we have to prepare for interviews conducted by our tutors. This has taught me how to act professionally during a business environment, demonstrating traits such as letting other people speak and not to overtalk during, and also learn when not to speak, which may be a simple skill but can prove difficult in situations such as a business environment. What would your tutor say about you? My college tutor would tell me I'm creative. Using my previous skill from art qualifications, I'm able to think of solutions and projects different to ways normally being created. This was demonstrated on my recent assignment where we had to create a video in order to inform a specific audience. Another one of my tutors would describe me as hardworking, being able to complete work on the highest level of quality and just reaching that extra mile. And I'm able to structure essays correctly with my resource table stating all my resources I've used. I would also be described as a team leader, being able to delegate work, matching each individual person a task which best suits their strengths or to improve on their weaknesses. What has been your biggest achievement to date? Personally, my biggest achievement to date is when I attended NCS a couple of years ago. I was placed in a group of people with different personalities and preferences. We were tasked to raise money for a charity. We decided to choose Action for Family Carers due to personal reasons. We all planned to do 3 days of charity work. On the first day, asking for donations on the high street, which required people skills and social communications. The second day, a charity bake sale, and on the last, a family fun day with activities. With lots of hard work from everyone in the group, each activity was a success. I was able to create posters and advertisement to increase our turnout. Some of the advertisements included a social media post. I was able to set up machines that would provide entertainment, such as music or even displaying a movie. After the 3 events, our group managed to raise over £887 for our charity, the highest from all of the group in NCS. What has been your biggest achievement to date? My biggest challenge today would be learning how to drive. The pressure of the theory test and only being able to get a certain amount of questions wrong, mixed with the reputation of how hard the test is, according to some peers. But I could use it as a learning curve, as it challenges my skills of learning and also being able to thrive during stressful situations. An example of when you had to work as part of a team and explain your role as well as the outcome. An example of when I worked as part of a team was during college, where we had an assessment which required to make a group presentation. Just like in every group, there has to be a group leader. I took over that role and led the team. I would examine the assessment brief and broke it down into sections. Then I would examine each member of my group and assign a task for each member which best suit their skill. So for this example, we're trying to design a Subway sandwich, and I tasked someone who's good with data to research the most used sandwich filling, and so on. Part of being a team leader also requires you to motivate your group, so we stay on schedule and not fall behind. I made sure to help any of my group members when they're struggling with their tasks. This is to prevent them from getting upset, which won't be good as the quality of work decreases when you're upset. I would also create a system to check work. I would assign a task to different members and would ask them to check the task, so that if there are any information missing, the person checking would hopefully add the missing information. I would also add finishing touches to the PowerPoint, like adding images, changing color scheme, and making sure everything is at its highest quality and that it looks really nice. Can you provide an example of when you had to work under your own initiative? My part-time job at McDonald's, I'm usually left alone in food preparation, meaning I have the responsibility to be able to keep an appropriate level of food for the customers. This responsibility would require a lot of my own initiative, as I would have to decide what is required at all times and to make sure I don't get too stressed and not get overloaded with orders. I would also have to make sure that I have enough ingredients to be able to make products. This will also develop me as a more independent person, which is desired in the person specification, as you'd have to be working on your own station, working on computers and databases, and making sure you know what you're doing, and to be more independent about what you need to do, when you need to do it, and everything. Why do you want this post? I want the role as a business system lead, as observing the responsibilities of the role, I see myself fitting in nicely using all of the things I've learned from my previous education, my part-time jobs, and I've acquired skills throughout those time which I can transfer into this role. The skills that I've learned from my previous jobs and education would perfectly complement the skills required for the role. I think my skills and familiarity with computer applications such as Excel would contribute greatly with the company, but can also help me develop the skill further, as I'm able to create databases and make relationship databases, which is what the person's specification requires or desires. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I am driven to be the best at what I do, and in 5 years' time, I want to be somewhere where I'll have opportunities to develop my skill, take on interesting projects that would challenge my skill, and work with people I can learn from. That's why I'm so interested in building a career here. There are many opportunities to further improve on my skills and also demonstrate those skills so that I can improve the workplace.